So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking I would love to start doing a regular thing for myself, and we'll see how that comes out too. It's a lot of fun, and why not? So anyway, welcome everybody. It is 11 o'clock. My name is Robin, and I am a member of a group called ZLab. And we're doing this production for As Above Academy, one of our portals. We have been doing a morning grounding at 11 o'clock for the last several weeks, and I'm taking over this time slot for one of my cohorts. And this morning we were talking in a group about the difference between story and feeling and how they can influence one another. There was about a little bit of a debate. Does the story come first or does the feeling come first? Does the reaction come first or does the response come after? And kind of as an adjunct to the module and lesson we were working on, I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about story right now. And that is, what is a story? Why is a story problematic? Um, what great things does a story provide us? When I look back on my life and doing the work that we often try to do here, where we want to become more conscious and aware of how we interact with the world. Um, Story and feeling have a lot to do with both what I see and what I react to or what I respond to. If I see somebody hurting and I interpret that as a thing that is not good and I would like to change it, my story is that hurting is not okay and that I need to facilitate something for somebody so that they can feel better or not feel as bad. I have a judgment that the way that they are feeling isn't something that I want them to feel. But that is my story. Uh, it's often a case where if we are grieving or we are sad or we are angry, the most important thing we can do is just simply feel those feelings. Just to be angry, just to be sad. Nothing more than that. The stories then give us reason to feel that way or provides meaning for why we feel it, especially for if we're uncomfortable or if I'm uncomfortable with the feeling. If I'm angry and I don't want to be angry, or I don't think it's appropriate to be angry, I might tell myself a story so that I didn't feel like I needed to be angry. Like, for instance, several weeks ago, I had to give up a possession of mine. It was something very special to me, but I hadn't done what I needed to ensure that I could retain possession of it. It was in somebody else's possession, and they needed something from me to return it. My story became they wanted something that was unreasonable. They weren't being kind or considerate or thoughtful or taking into account any of the things that I believe were relevant to the situation. And I got really angry and I told them to keep the possession because I no longer wanted the emotional impact that discussion was having on me. So I decided to avoid it by simply saying, fine, you have it. I don't want it anymore. That's a story. Because the truth is, I still want it. I'm still angry. And I still believe this person was wrong. I've been around the block a few times, and I know enough to know, even despite my own emotions and reactions and my own anger, that while I had given a bunch of appropriate information and data, as Ariana is talking about. And I'll get back into that in a little bit. I'll try and pull back into that after the story. Um, what I knew in the moment, regardless of how I reacted, was that he also had his own story. He felt taken advantage of. He felt he'd gone out on a limb. He felt he'd done what needed to be done for the situations, and he felt he was owed something. Yeah. Those two stories come from two different perspectives. We each have data, which is personal to us, the facts. I paid him X amount of dollars. I had X agreements with him. These are the agreements that weren't fulfilled on. Those are data points. Notice that they lack emotion. I'm angry that he didn't fulfill on his obligations. Includes the emotion, where he didn't fulfill on his obligations is just a statement of what I deem as a fact. On his end, his data was I didn't get paid what I wanted. I did more work than I was paid for, and the agreement wasn't clear. So the difference in our stories is what often created for us the reactions that we then found ourselves in the middle of. For me, I'm still trying to resolve that internally. It's not a quick process. So when you're angry, when you're emotional, when you have a conflict with somebody or an internal conflict, what is the actual emotion? Are you sad? Are you angry? Is there something else? Is it a more complex emotion like anxiety or depression? You can ask your story what it's telling you, why you feel that way, but the why is really about the way you interpret the data that you're receiving, the story that you're giving yourself. Was I a victim, or was I the perpetrator? Was I powerful, or was I weak? Did I do what I needed for myself, or did I let somebody trample over me? Whatever that story is going to inform how you respond to it. So I'm going to take a moment here, and I'm going to offer a bit of a grounding right now. And I'm going to invite you to relax into the space that you are. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Maybe you want to keep them open. And just take a couple of full, deep breaths. Allow your body to settle into wherever you're at, whether it's in a chair or on a bed. Maybe you're lying out in the grass in the sunshine. And take a moment just to really get in touch with your body. Maybe starting with your toes. And just allow yourself to feel if there's any tension or pain or discomfort in your toes. And just acknowledge it. Maybe let it go if you can. Wiggle them, allow them to relax a little more. And when they're as relaxed as you can get, maybe move up to your ankles, roll them a little bit, work out any tension, and allow them to just settle into a bit of a relaxed bliss. And your legs, wiggle them, allow them to relax. Feel them just giving way. Your breath, coming up to your abdomen, your stomach, breathing into your body. allow any tension in your abdomen, your stomach, your chest, just to let go as you exhale. Moving up to your shoulders, maybe rolling them back and forth, working out any tension. And again, allowing yourself to relax even deeper. Working your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands and fingers. Just again, moving them, allowing them to just settle into whatever's comfortable. And finally, your neck, rolling maybe a little bit. Paying attention to your eyelids, your cheek muscles, your jaw, the top of the head, your ears. Wherever you feel that little bit of catch that says, oh, there's a spot here. It's not quite ready to relax. And a couple more breaths. And settle in. From here, I'd like you to consider a moment in the last day or two, maybe a week. Find a place where you weren't comfortable. Maybe you were frustrated or embarrassed. Sad. You lost some. You wanted something that you couldn't get in the moment. What was that feeling? As you dive into whatever that feeling was, where does it show up in your body? Does it show up in your gut, or your heart, or your throat? Does it feel like it's in your head? Does it come with pictures or words? Do those words have meaning? Do the pictures tell you something? In that moment, do you find your feelings changing? Do they intensify? Do they soften? Does it go from one emotion to another? Does the quality of the emotion depend on your belief about what happened, how it happened, why it happened, or who or what it happened to? Do those qualities or pieces of information change your experience in the moment from what you experienced several days ago? This is a simple, basic reflection. And as we finish this grounding, I'm going to invite you to take a couple of more deep breaths. And whatever came up within you is just fine as it is. It's something to simply sit with and allow yourself to examine. So I'm going to invite you to finish your couple of deep breaths. Open your eyes again if you haven't already. And come back to this space with me and just spend some time with yourself. Maybe reflecting on anything you might have felt or realized in the moment of the grounding. Anything coming in after the fact. Maybe you'll have something come up for you in the next few hours. You're welcome, Ariana. I'm just going to invite you to reflect on this. What are your emotions in general? And how do they respond to what you tell yourself or what others tell you? Because it's not always just about your story. Sometimes it's about others' stories. And does their story meet up or meet with yours in ways which evoke an emotional reaction? Does the fact that their story differ from yours cause anxiety? I know it does for me. When I talk with people and I find out their story or what they believe or what they saw is completely different than what I experienced, I question, was I responding or reacting or aware in the moment what I was responding or reacting to? With that, I hope that you have a wonderful day and join us again another time. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and may your journey be blessed.